Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm with Fluffy right now. Guys, today's interview is about to be amazing, and I can't wait for you guys to see a future huge star in the wrestling business. She also performed on AEW Dark and versed Britt Baker, one of my favorite female wrestlers on AEW. So, guys, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Laying down with Fluffy. Fluffy loves you guys. Smash the subscribe button, and let's dive right into it. Wow, I said that same thing in the interview. I need to start working on my intros because intros suck. And yeah, guys, I'm going to get better with these interviews. And also, my audio sounds so bad, and I don't understand because I'm filming right now with my phone, and my audio sounds good. And I do the Skype thing through my phone, and the audio just sounds bad. Makes no sense. I'm going to figure it out because I got a really big one on Tuesday, a huge interview on Tuesday, and I need this audio good. So yeah, guys, if you guys have any advice, leave it down below. I'll see you guys at the end of the video. Peace.
All right, so we got Miranda on the line. Miranda, how you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
Pretty good. So you made a big splash in pro wrestling. What got you started doing pro wrestling? Or when did you start doing pro wrestling?
I started when I was 18. I'm 26 now. I always wanted to do it when I was like younger, and I watched it when I was younger, as I think everybody does. Everybody has like a wrestling phase. And then I stopped watching it, and then I was like 18 and I was scrolling, and then I watched it after like a few years, and then I kind of like watched it a few weeks after, and I just wanted to try it. So then I just looked up a school, and then I went to the school and I started wrestling. But yeah, that happened. It was never planned or anything like that. It was kind of just like I was scrolling through my TV and I was like, and then I started watching it again, and I just wanted to try it, so I tried it.
What wrestler was it that got you hooked onto it, if there was a certain wrestler?
Well, whenever I grew up, it was like the John Cena, Trish Stratus, Edge, Lita era. So I was like a really, really big like John Cena fan and a Trish Stratus fan. Those were my two favorites growing up.
What school did you start training at, and how many months did you take till you got to actually have your first match?
So the school was Tugboat Taylor School. It was right here in Houston downtown. I think I had my match fairly early. I think it was like maybe 4, 5, or 6 months, and it was like a really, really bad match. But I had most people don't have like their first matches till like their first year of wrestling, some their second, but mine was fairly early, like maybe 4 to 6 months.
How long did it take? So I actually was training at Harley Race's school for a while. How long did it take you to get over like the bumps, like the fear of doing your first ever bumps?
Actually, I think it took me maybe about a month. I was very like unathletic when I started. Like it was very hard for me to bump and roll, and like I was just extremely unathletic. But I think it was about a month or maybe a month and a half until they became like solid.
Oh, that's cool. Have you ever thought about going to Booker T's school or performing with them since you're in Texas?
Oh, well, I trained there for about 3 years. So I was at my first school for about a year. And then 1 second.
You're good.
I was at my first school for about 1 year, and then after that I went to like Booker T's school for about 3 years. So I've done some stuff with them, and I've trained with them there for about 3 years. He's about an hour away from my house.
Well, what's it like training with Booker T?
Oh, it's a lot of fun. He's very helpful and he's very hands-on. He's not at the school a lot, but when he is there, he's always helping the guys. Obviously, he's like on the road, busy with WWE and stuff. But he tells you exactly how it is. He tells you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. And being there, you are going to get better. So that's what's the good thing about it. And it's a good school. They have the best rings. That's probably one of the best rings in Houston. They have like a few rings down here that I can get in, but his is very, very professional, very nice. So yeah, it's always helpful, and he gives you great feedback too, not only with your wrestling, but with your promos and your character and everything.
Oh, that's really cool. When you got to when you were told you were gonna win be the first woman to win the cruiserweight title, what was your reaction to that?
I was surprised because I wasn't expecting it, but I was really, really excited. But I think I was more excited because it just like it's red and it just like with my whole character. So I was more excited for like to take the pictures and stuff with it than actually like winning the title. But that's my home promotion, and I love wrestling there. I'm there every single month. They treat me really, really good. But yeah, I love it. It's great.
What's the story behind your red hair, by the way? Because I knew like a year ago you had brown hair. So what got you to do the all red?
Well, I've had almost like every color in my hair. So like when I first started, my hair was blonde. When I was like 18, I had blonde hair. And then I would do like black streaks inside of the blonde. Sometimes I would do like pink streaks. I did purple streaks at once. And then I went to red, or I don't know what color I went to after that. Maybe it was black and then red. I don't know. But red, I just kind of wanted to try it out. So I had red a few years back, like maybe like 5 years ago. I had it for about a year, and then I just went back to black. And then I just got tired of black, so I just went back to red. And then I went to like maroon, burgundy, which was like, you're probably talking about a few years back, which was like 2 years ago. Like it was like burgundy, but like after a month of washing it, it'll fade out and it'll look like brown. But I always flip flop. It's always going to be red, black, or maroon. Those are just my colors. Like,
have you ever thought about doing blue?
I had blue whenever I had the blonde. So I had blonde with like blue streaks, and it looked really bad. I'll never do that again.
So how did you get to perform on AEW with Britt Baker, and then what was that experience like for you?
I think I just got an email from the guys, and we're like, hey, are you available? And I was like, yeah. And then I went. I didn't know who I was wrestling until day of. I like it there because everybody's very, very hands-on and very helpful, very positive. It's a very laid back and chill experience. So I had a lot of fun with it.
Oh, that's cool. Well, are you a fan of Britt Baker before you got to work with her?
I actually didn't know her until I started wrestling. I had met her through a mutual friend, but we had became like really, really close prior to that. So we were already friends for a while, but I met her through wrestling. I did not know her before wrestling or before she started wrestling. I met her within the business through a friend.
Did you get to meet like Cody or any of them? Like, do you know, like, if you ever further in your career, will you have an opportunity to actually go full time with them?
I met Cody, but it was like very briefly, just shook his hand, professional. I've wrestled his wife, Brandy Rhodes, before here in Texas a few years ago. So I know her a little bit. I'm pretty sure that I'll get another opportunity down the road. It's not anything I'm in a rush for. I'm like kind of like laying back on the wrestling side right now. Not too much, but like a little bit. I just moved, so I have a lot of stuff that I'm trying to handle in Houston. But I'm not in no rush for anything. But Brandy's one of my favorite people. She's awesome. She's like one of the sweetest girls I've ever met. Cody was super cool, but we didn't talk much. It was kind of just like shake his hand and go on about like my business that I was doing there and keeping it professional.
Oh, that's cool. So what has been your favorite match so far in your career?
Ooh, I don't think I have like a top favorite one. But my favorite ones with the S are normally when I wrestle the guys, if I'm being honest. Just because I have more fun with the guys and it's just different. And I feel like I could do a lot more. So all of my favorite matches are my matches when I'm wrestling men. And as weird as it sounds, I would rather wrestle a guy than wrestle a girl. But as far as like a favorite one, I don't have any favorite ones just because like I love doing what I do and I have been doing it for a while and I do it so often, like 2 to 3 times a week. Like I've wrestled somebody and then like a month later I'll wrestle them again, or like we run into the same people very, very often. But I don't have, as far as like a favorite match, I don't have one, but my favorite ones are when I wrestle the guys.
That's cool. Do you have any like dream opponents from AEW or WWE?
I don't think I'm gonna say dream opponents because I've wrestled. I would like to have a match with Toni Storm. Another match. I've had a match with her before in Japan already, but I'd like to have another one. If there was like another WWE girl, I'd like to have a match with Dakota Kai. I really, really like her and her character. I haven't been keeping up with the AEW stuff too much just because I've been like really, really busy and I don't watch too much wrestling, to be honest. I watch more NXT than anything.
Right.
I don't. I know there's like a few. I honestly haven't watched AEW for like since probably the match that I've had whenever I was on there. But I do watch a lot of NXT, like at least once a week. Yeah.
That's cool. So you, when you said you went to Japan, did you stay there for like a while, or was it just like you fly over there, fly back?
I was there for 2 months.
Really? What's there like? Cause I know, when I was doing pro wrestling, I always feared, I don't know, I guess going to a whole nother country for months, being away from I know that's the sacrifice you take, but something to me feels different of, let's say if I live in Missouri, so being in California for 2 months versus being in a whole nother country for 2 months feels so like different to me. But did you handle that adapting to that well, or was it like,
Yeah.
was it scary?
Yeah, it was fine because the way that it was set up is it was me and it was about 5 or 6 of us in a house. So I was never like alone. I was never lonely or anything like that. I shared a room with Nicole Savoy, and it was like Rachel Ellering, Zaya Brookside, Kaylee Ray, and Viper in the other room. So we were always together. It was a very small room. We trained twice a week. We would wrestle once or twice a week. I think I adapted to it pretty well. And I had fun the whole time with the girls, so I wasn't like sad. Like, yeah, I miss my family, but I had fun the whole time. So I was never like sad or worried or anxious or had any type of anxiety being away because I was around good people.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I
Yeah.
know a lot of people are good with that stuff. I guess like change for me is pretty hard. I mean, cause like I feel like being in Japan versus being here, or being in here versus Australia, or different places, countries are always different. So like I feel like being here, if I went to another state, it would be pretty similar. So it wouldn't be super big, but for me, like change is real hard. Some people can like be really good with change.
Yeah, and like it's like it is different because like even when you're in another country and you go to something as simple as like the grocery store.
Yeah.
Like I don't read Japanese, so I don't like if I'm buying like a milk, I don't know what type of milk it is, or if I'm looking for like a meat, I don't know what type of meat it is because I can't read like Japanese. And those people, not many of them speak English, and I don't speak Japanese. So like, if anything, it's kind of like when you're by yourself, trying to get around is the hardest part. If
Yeah.
if anything.
Oh wow. So on February 6th, you're gonna be doing a show with Justin Credible, Teddy Long, and Mark Henry. Are you excited for that event?
Oh yeah, I'm really excited. It's a show here in Texas, so I'll be making my debut. And I think I'm gonna be working with them a lot in the future. So I'm looking forward to that. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Have you got to talk to any of them at all yet? Like Justin Credible or Teddy Long or Mark Henry?
No, I've met Teddy Long, but just briefly at a WrestleCade. But as far as like a full-on conversation, no, I haven't. I think like when I met him, like he took a picture with us and like posted it on Facebook or something.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
but
You know,
I met him prior to this. I've never met Mark Henry.
do you know what they're doing? Are they just making an appearance, or are they gonna wrestle, or what?
I have no idea. I don't even know what I'm doing, to be
All right.
honest. I'm having 2 matches that night. I don't know who I'm wrestling. I think Christy James and then somebody else. I'm not sure who the other person is. But I'll figure. I think they might have like, if I'm not mistaken, I think they might be doing a seminar. I don't know.
do you like that? Do you like finding things out last minute, or do you like to know ahead so you can mentally and like kind of prepare in your mind the match and try to come up with spots rather than last minute? How are you with as a worker? Do you like the last minute, or do you like being known a few like in advance?
Well, I wouldn't plan any of my matches until I get there or day of with the person. And I'm used to that at this point. So, and I wrestled in Mexico. So as far as like the last minute stuff in Mexico, a lot of things change right before you go out the curtain. We can have a whole match planned, and then 2 minutes before our music hits, they'll change everything. So you just got to like know how to adapt. Not a lot of people are good with that. And it's not
Yeah.
something I prefer to do because it throws a lot of things off. But I always go to my shows like if my show's gonna start at 7, obviously I'm gonna go there a lot earlier than 7. I'll get there at like 4 or 5 to be able to get in the ring and talk with my opponent and see what we're gonna do. I don't like doing things last minute. Like, I would never arrive at a show at 6:30 if it started at 7 and have to rush anything. Just because I don't like working like that. But if I have to, like, I can adapt to it. It's no problem.
Oh, that's good. I know. I was talking to Heath Slater, I think like a week ago, and he told me in WWE a lot of things are last minute. Like when he got the debut as Nexus, they literally didn't even have that idea until like an hour into it, and they were like, "Oh, you guys are all debuting against Cena." So he always told me that sometimes it's super exciting when it's things like that, but like if you're going into like a big match where it's like a long match, he likes to know things ahead of time so he can have some ideas and plan things out because he likes to be prepared. So it's interesting on how different.
Yeah, I mean, like segments, like I don't mind, like if like I'm backstage and they're like, hey, can you go cut like a promo like in like 5 minutes? Okay, but like as far as like a full match, if I need to go over something last minute, I can, but I think every athlete prefers to like have a little bit of time before going out there.
Oh yeah. Are you a fan of promos? Do you like that, or is that harder for you?
No, I like it. I have a lot of fun with it. I don't like the typical like, and I get this a lot, and I hate doing it if I'm being honest. Like a promoter will say, hey, can you cut a promo saying that you're coming here and here and here and tickets are on sale? I don't like that. I would rather have a storyline script to where I can actually come up with something instead of just the typical trying to sell tickets promo. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What was that? So what are your ultimate goals in pro wrestling? Like in 10 years from now, or just even like what's a goal? Is it WWE? Is that your goal? Because you say you really like NXT. Is that like one of your big goals?
Yeah, I think I wouldn't mind going to NXT. I think that is one of the bigger goals. Like I said, no rush, but 10 years, I do want to be retired by then.
Really?
Well, yeah, I mean, I started when I was 18, so like I have to live my life at some point.
Yeah.
I've been doing it for a while, and I do it pretty consistently. Like I wrestle at least 2 to 3 times per week. I don't really take a break unless I need one. So yeah, I think WWE and NXT is always like the bigger goal. But I don't want to rush anything. When the time's ready, it'll happen, and I'm very, very confident in that. So
in the indie scene that you're in, do you get full creativity of your character, or do they tell you what you're gonna be doing, if that makes sense?
No, for the most part, you get full creativity unless you're doing like a TV show or something. There might be something like specific that somebody wants, but I think like, and that's one of the great things about the indies is like I do get to do what I want. Like whenever you go to bigger programs, they might tell you, oh, change your hair or change this or change that. So on the indies, I have complete control over what I want to do as far like from a character standpoint.
Do you ever storylines? Do you get to come up with your storylines, or do the booker makes that for you? Because in WLW, where my wrestling school was, I always thought it'd be really cool to like because they'll put us me versus someone else, but I would have this idea of a super really good storyline. Sometimes you wouldn't be allowed to do it because you got to do what they want to do. Do you ever get the ability to, if you have something in your mind, like you would have a really good match with this person, you have an amazing story, do you get to pitch that? How does that work for you?
Well, I think that depends on the promotion and if the promotion is actually doing a storyline, because I don't think many promotions do storylines unless it's TV. But as far as like whenever I was at Booker's, like we did do like stuff like that, backstage segments and storylines and stuff. And I think it's always good to have an idea of what you want to do, because when somebody's putting a TV production together, they need ideas because they have, if you have 10 matches on the card, like it's a lot for one person to put together. So I think always having like good backup ideas and going to the promoter, going to the person and saying, hey, I think this will work. What do you think of this? I like that a lot. So
that's good.
Not a lot of guys do TV storylines, and because they have to have somebody come in every month. But if there is somebody that I wrestle for like locally, I always pitch like ideas. So I'm all about ideas. I like that. I think things need to be creative for it to stay fun.
Oh, that's cool. So you said that you like to wrestle guys the most. In AEW, would you ever work with Guevara? Do you like him?
Me and Sammy are friends. I know him. He's from Houston, so I've known him for like a really long time.
You got to work with him at all?
In wrestling, no.
Aw,
Yeah.
dang. Yeah. He's so nice. His vlogging, because I've been doing YouTube for 12 years and he obviously does the vlogs too. So I reached out to him one time and just like told him like how I was going into pro wrestling, and I, your vlogs inspired me and stuff like that. And he's just so nice. He actually like takes time to reply to people and actually communicate with you. So he's a really nice guy.
Yeah, I've known him for a while now. Like he's been around for a while too. So
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Think when he'll make it to WWE, do you think they'll use him properly? Because I know, like NXT, 100%, but on the main roster, I know Vince isn't always the best with pushing guys who are his size. I know in NXT he won't have any problem with Triple H. Do you think he will? Do you think he'll do good on the main roster?
Well, I think it comes down to does he want to go there or not first. So I don't know what he wants to do. I think he'd do really good in NXT, but I mean, as you said, like smaller guys don't get the biggest pushes on main roster, which is unfortunate. But I think he can be a star wherever he goes, honestly, if he gets the opportunity. So I guess we would just have to see.
Yeah, that's good. And then so my last question is going into this year, do you have any like plans for this year with the whole COVID thing? Do you have less matches due of COVID or no?
Well, we've been having, I guess it just depends. It's been like so up and down. Like it was nothing for the first few months and then it started picking up and then it was nothing. And it's been very, very like fluctuating. So, like 2 months ago, 3 months ago, I had something every single week and I was like exhausted. And then this month I didn't have anything until next Saturday. So I've been off for 3 weeks. So, I mean, we don't have much control over that right now. In Texas, there's a lot of wrestling going on because Texas is more open than most of the other states. So I think I'm busy until March if all goes good.
That's
So
good.
it's kind of like we're just up in the air and just waiting around and just seeing what's going to happen next. So
Are you
for the
guys?
busy and I have something very frequently, but the thing is like sometimes things are getting canceled because of the COVID or like they can't do it because of like the restrictions and stuff. But I'm hoping that all goes well and that this stuff goes back to normal. It's been almost a year. I'm over it. I've been over it.
Yeah, same. I haven't been to a wrestling.
Knows that.
Are you guys? Do they tell you you're not allowed to high five fans going out too?
No, not really.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no.
Oh, that's good.
Mean, pretty like all of our stuff down here is open. Our gyms are open, our bars are open. Texas is pretty much fully open. They're even doing like the Rockets and the basketballs playing right now, so they're even having those events, but they're just very, very spread out. But for the most part, it's pretty normal down here. So I'm hoping it stays like this, and hopefully it can get normal in other places.
Oh yeah, I feel that one. Well, thank you so much for doing the interview with me.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for having me. Once it's on YouTube and stuff, let me know and I'll post a link.
Now, I hope you guys did enjoy that video. If you guys did, make sure the thumbs up button down below. She was such a nice girl. It was so nice of her to take time out of her day. I can't wait to see what she does. Hope we get to see her in NXT. So I'm probably start standing up, guys. But anyways, guys, smash the subscribe button. Leave a comment down below. I'll see you guys later. Peace.